We are joined by Chandler Geller, Director of Performance here for West Virginia Baseball. First and foremost, thanks so much for joining us. Why is it important for this program for the guys to be dedicated here in the Strength and Conditioning Center?
Well, we put a ton of emphasis on this room, not just from a strength and conditioning standpoint, but from a holistic performance standpoint. And that's a separator. Guys at this level are all very skilled. And typically they need something that sets them apart, and a lot of times it has to do with like capacities, fitness levels, strength, speed, power, and some of those deals that separate players from like where they were at one point to where they want to be.
And talk about getting the buy-in from those guys. You know, what kind of atmosphere and what kind of culture is it important to create in here for guys to want to show up and do the things that you're talking about to get better?
The best part about the culture in here is it's self-propelled. Our dudes work. They like to compete. They like to outwork each other. They love when the VBT stuff's going. So I was super fortunate that I came into an environment that had a fairly good weight room culture already, which is awesome. And then we just got to like take it up a notch and even better. So guys come in, they compete. I mean, we had a pretty fun, challenging, I guess you could say, conditioning session this morning, and guys, just getting after it. Like, you're going to come here, you're going to get down and dirty and throw down, and we're going to develop you and win some championships, hopefully make you a pro.
Nothing quite like the juice in a weight room when everybody's fired up to be in it. It's a special place.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Nutrition, obviously a huge part of strength and conditioning. What are some ways that you guys are educating and also helping the guys with their nutrition?
We do a ton of stuff. We put a huge emphasis on nutrition, sleep, are super low-hanging fruit. So we pound it the best we can. We like to eat well on the road. We get good quality snacks the best we can. Our dietitian supplies us with everything we need when we're going on road trips. So we're bringing a full deal of tart cherry and magnesium, our hydration supplements, our protein, pretty much everything that we need, we get provided to us, our honey stinger products and stuff like that. And when we get somewhere, a big thing that we did this year that was unique, I think, was our in-game fueling strategy. So that's a big part of my role in-game, is providing our starters and our starting pitcher with hydration and fuel at certain innings. So some guys will choose, usually it's gummies, like a honey stinger gummies or the waffles. Most guys like those. It may just be half, or it may be the whole pack. Everyone has their own thing. Some of our guys are Gatorade bar guys, and we try to teach and educate the importance of intra-game fueling and all these different things, but we also are trying to teach guys to be pros and how to handle their business, and when it's time to do something, you got to do it. So if you gave up 2 home runs, got pulled from the game, but it's snack time, man. It's time to be a pro, do it, and then you can go back to hitting the glove a little bit. And the guys have really responded well to that, I think, just being professional when it comes to their in-game fueling, their hydration, their nutrition, and then on the back ends of it too. Their collagen on the front end of games, their protein shakes and recovery, extra electrolytes on the back end. So we made a huge push to show the importance of it, and I think this year the guys really got to see that, and it's just created more and more buy-in from there.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you're talking about 18 to 23-year-old kids, and having to teach them and for them to understand that what you put in your body every single day actually does matter when you get out on that field, right?
Yeah, I tell them this a lot. I forgot who I stole this from, but it's a great line I love, and I tell them that bioenergetics drives biomechanics.
Yep. That's
so
simple.
You want to move crappy, then eat crappy.
Yep.
Feel yourself for what you want to do.
Yeah.
So.
I've also noticed all around the facility, upstairs and in here, we got hot plates. I'm assuming we're cooking stuff up for the boys. The boys are cooking stuff up for themselves. What's kind of that program
the
like?
Hot plates, they're cooking stuff up for themselves. So we do a bridge program every year, and it's bringing in our incoming freshmen. We have some transfer portal guys that want to be in it, and really it's just 6 weeks of strength and conditioning. It's like baseball camp. It's pretty sweet. So the guys come in with those hot plates. They cook themselves some breakfast. And that was the breakfast part of it, is the hot plates. Obviously, we wanted to show guys, because in the fall we will require breakfast every morning at the Coliseum, so hey, get used to meeting and eating breakfast. So we got the hot plates. Guys get together, they make breakfast, have their education session, lift, baseball. It's kind of like a little baseball camp type of day for for big kids, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Anybody burning up eggs so far, or are we doing all right?
So we first day had a couple, but our caterer JT, he's the man. He came and taught our guys like how to cook eggs right. You know, we had a, and this was a returner, so I don't want to say his name, but cooking in the pan with a fork. You know, so I told him, if you know, one day your wife's gonna freaking rip your head off if you cook your eggs like that in her pan. So yeah, so he came, he helped everyone out, whether they like, you know, different types, or he even brought his gas burner, so he could teach guys how to do the induction top and the gas burner. So trying to set these guys up, you know, for life. But this is a huge thing. This is something that myself and Save's probably learned too late, and that's what's cool about him. Like, we met in that performance training world back then, when, you know, when some of the things we were doing was probably more known in track and field that you see now every day, with not just the fueling, but, you know, the dry needling and the massage therapy and the chiropractic work and some of those different pieces to it. So trying to teach these guys that this matters in that whole big picture too is pretty important for us.
The other side of the nutrition bar, looking at some of the game day supplements here, walk us through kind of what each one is and how you use them.
Yeah, so we get these from our nutrition department. They help us out, get us situated and ready to go. I guess the easiest thing, maybe take you through like a game day, you know. So like game day on the road is probably the most structured day our guys have. So like they will wake up in the morning, maybe breakfast might be at 9. You'll come downstairs. The first thing you'll do is I'll give you your hydration test. We use MX3 hydration for that. And depending on your level of hydration, you might be a candidate for more of a saltier, we call them bigger hydration, or more of the middle of the road hydration. After that, they'll come back after they eat. They'll get their supplements, which is just pretty standard multivitamin fish oil. For both sides of the ball, our pitchers and position players. But our position players have been taking this, and I always mess it up, how to pronounce it, xanthan lutein. I hope I said that right. Something that a lot of pro orgs got into probably 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's kind of making a run, but helps the guys with vision and glare, and you know, a lot of them just say ability to see the laces on the ball. So obviously that helps with seeing spin balls out of the hand, things like that. Very helpful. So our guys have really liked that. And then throughout the game, one of my main responsibilities, you know, I keep track of some of our offensive total distance and things like that from a running standpoint for the guys playing, but also the fueling and hydrating. That's probably my biggest part and role in the game, is fueling and hydrating our starters. So before the game starts, like before the first pitch, all the starters, they'll have their first kind of hydration shot for the day, and that's usually just, honestly, actually I don't even want to tell the secret. They'll know. The boys will know. But you know, just typically has one of these in there to give them a little more electrolytes, things like that, and then we alternate off innings. So they'll have a water, then they'll have something else, which is not always something of this magnitude. It really depends on our climate, where we're at. Sometimes it's just whatever the Gatorade is that the athletic trainer provided us, and then they'll have their different snacks, which is usually Gatorade bars, Honey Stinger products. A lot of guys like the Honey Stinger Chews, which we have on the backside. But you know, game day, the boys get to send the menu out, and then they send back what they want. Some guys want 2 cookies and cream waffles. Some guys want 2 packs of gummies. Some guys want a waffle and gummies. Some of our guys just want a bite of their Gatorade bar. It's really whatever they need, and it's really just teaching them and educating them and trying to, we'll also hold them to a standard of like, hey, if you want to play this game at a high level, you need to fuel well and hydrate well and do some of these things. And it helps intra-game as well, not just waiting until after the game to refuel or just cramming it all in the front end. Like there's stuff that's going on in between the games, and there's things that happen with dehydration, not eating, malnourishment, like we know, but dehydration is huge from a cognitive standpoint also when you're playing the game. So there's just a lot of things that are at stake when you're not really taking care of yourself and how you're fueling going into high demanding, high stress environments like we play in very often.
obviously, a ton of resources here. Very blessed to be at this program. What kind of tech do you guys get to use in the gym? I feel like you got a lot of cool stuff in here.
We got some gadgets, and we're just gonna hopefully keep expanding some. But probably our main things that we use the most are our VBT units, our GymAwares. That's what we use for our velocity-based training. We use our Nord board a lot, Vol Nord board, and our timing gates, our smart speed timing gates. Use those a ton. We'll put those up for just like sprint stuff or really whenever, but we'll do some timing here and there. And then our force plates, Hawken Dynamics force plates, we use those, test some jump heights, power outputs, all those metrics associated with force and power.
Walk me through kind of each one here. The GymAware, what's it used for? What are kind of some of the fun bits that you get to do with a system like this?
Yeah, so GymAware can be used in a ton of different ways, right? So we set the unit up, and it's already all connected for us. But what you do pretty much is you'd find whatever exercise you're doing. GymAware has a ton of them. We could do this one right here. So safety squat bar, we use a lot of safety squat bar stuff. And what an athlete would do pretty much is once the tether's all hooked up to the bar. Oh,
there you go.
A great rep there. So depending on where we're at, right, and it could change the time of the year, what we're focusing on, but different speeds are gonna correlate with different adaptations. So what the GymAware helps us do a lot is not miss. Okay, it helps us like auto-regulate. It helps guys hit what they need to hit when they're not feeling their best. A lot of what I have to do is mitigate stressors the best I can and kind of minimal effective dose around all these things that are going on. And so it's not, some guys can't squat 85% of their 1 rep max that day. That 85%, after some stuff happened with the family and you failed the test and you struck out 4 times a day before, could feel like 107%. So this helps us in season, especially with guys, depending on how they're feeling, how their legs are, either stay within the adaptation we need or push themselves at certain times when, kind of the, time to strike a little bit.
Yeah. This is a pretty sick system. How about the force plates in the corner there? What are some of the kind of the movements? Obviously, baseball's a one-leg sport, so I'm imagining pretty important to kind of understand how much force and energy you're able to put in the ground.
Yep, each leg. So we'll do an array of tests, counter movement jumps. We'll standardize some with our hands on our hips, and then we'll do some like free arms, let guys see and look at some different jump strategies thing. So now, what's really cool about this data is the biomechanics lab. That's where this picture starts getting painted a little better because, the athletic trainer myself can only kind of do so much with the pitching staff on pitchers and the hitting staff on hitters. Well, now we have that third party that's going to be able to take actual ground forces from the mound, and then we can really look at different forces and power outputs from our force plates with our movement screen and range of motion measurements and start kind of overlaying some of this piece with Kinetrax data and really looking at what guys produce unilaterally, bilaterally, so on and so forth, and where they're deficient at. Is it a pitcher with a lead leg issue or a drive leg issue, and help try to address some of those things. But what I might see on mine may not be what they see on theirs, so it's good to sit down in kind of the war room and hash out a little bit and make sure you're not missing.
Absolutely, putting kind of the pieces of the puzzle together, right? Aura rings. Everybody's wearing them, I'm assuming, 24/7. Like, what's the kind of, how's that system work? Only when they sleep.
Wear them when they sleep. That's kind of our deal. So we partner with RNI, Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute here on campus. They're awesome. They've done a lot of stuff with athletics for a long time. They actually provided all of our Aura rings for us. They help us with some of our daily wellness stuff. So not just like sports science tools, I guess we use, but you can call them modalities or resources or initiatives. But we do a daily check-in every day. Guys do wellness stuff. So we're looking at how they're sleeping, objectively, how they feel they're sleeping, different stress, arm fatigue, soreness stuff, and then overlaying that with our armcare.com sensors and range of motion and strength testing from that. Mixed with a couple other things. So it's a pretty big deal. But I guess the Aura Ring initiative itself, when the guys get fitted, they got to wear it every night, and that's the main thing. Every night, no matter what, don't miss. If something comes up, obviously, let us know, because there's errors and things do come up because, again, rings go in and out. But every day sync their ring. We'll go over data, we'll review it, we'll look at it, we'll discuss it. We talk about it. It's not a secret kind of thing. Everyone's trying to get better with their sleep. I put my sleep data up there. I'm not even good at sleeping, so we talk about it. We try things. We work on sleep pre-bedtime routines with guys. If a guy thinks they need blue blocker glasses, we'll provide some of those for them. Like, we try to do what we can to make sleep known and how important it is. Even our lifts here, like, we have our own weight room. Like, we're not going to give you an Oura ring and then wake you up to lift at 6 a.m. Right? So we're fortunate we have our own facility that we're able to, to take the time that we need to train guys, and utilize and push sleep and push the sleep initiative, because it can be really big and really impactful.
So obviously a lot of great resources, great pieces of technology for you to use. I'm sure it can feel overwhelming at times with all of that. What are some of the few key pieces to putting that stuff together and being able to use it to help make these guys better?
Yeah, well, the RNI, the Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute, they actually build us dashboards. So I can consolidate a lot of data at one time. We utilize Smartabase as well, so we have some different graphs, different things pointing at different times. So seeing everything in one place from a data visual is very helpful, because when you got 40, 50 guys, and it's one person you're searching for, it's much easier to see it in a dashboard. So bringing everything together, all the different resources, because we have a few different tech companies. We have Vald, we have Hawkins, Dynamic, GymAware, Aura, so we have data pulling from all sorts of different places. So that piece, tying it all together for us to see and use, is probably the most helpful to it.
All right, Chandler, we really appreciate you taking the time, hanging out with us for a couple minutes, man.
Absolutely, thank you.